Hi, my name's Tabria, and I am speaking on an incident that took place at Hyundai, Napleton Hyundai in Naperville, actually Aurora, Illinois. Um, and I felt that I was being discriminated against while purchasing a vehicle, and personally, I would like to see the company reach out and acknowledge that this employee of theirs has been either reprimanded or the issue has been rectified, given the fact that he blatantly disrespected me in front of many workers and customers um, in the business when I was making my purchase. So I would appreciate some acknowledgement. I have reached out to the company personally to share my experience, and I have yet to hear back from anyone on the incident that took place. So basically, I went to the Hyundai, Napleton Hyundai dealership last Saturday in search of purchasing a 2020 Hyundai Palisade. And when, I went through the process with the salesman, John Smith, he was wonderful. He was great to work with. I was very interested in purchasing the vehicle. And basically, I went through the process with him, and then his sales managers came over to the desk to sort of finalize the deal and wrap it up. And just immediately, just his tone, he was very aggressive in nature, basically saying, "You need to jump on this deal. You'll be a fool to walk away." Just some of the language he was using, it was just really a turnoff to me. And I had already been there from 12 until 2 o'clock, and had explained that I needed to leave for another appointment that I had starting at 3 o'clock that day. And so he just got even more aggressive when I basically said I needed to leave, but I said I would come back. And so I, finally left and came back, and I was met with him again. And just, he really, just disturbed me how he was speaking to me. And I left again, and I told John, I can't deal with this. I'm going to think about it if I even want to purchase from here. And so John was very understanding. He didn't try to push me into doing anything. And so I left, thought about it, and I felt like I'm not going to allow this one person who I felt was disrespectful to push me out of something that I wanted to purchase. And so I returned back the next day. But before I came, I called John and said, is there anything else that I need to bring? I don't want to come in and deal with your supervisor. I don't want another issue. He said, no, you just need to bring a check for your deposit and you're good to go. Your paperwork is already drawn up. So when I arrived back the next day with my check, because I didn't have a checkbook on me the day before for the deposit. And so when I arrived back with my checkbook, a general manager came out and basically said that they needed to have a porter take me to the bank because they couldn't accept a personal check. And me personally, I've purchased cars, several cars, pretty much I purchase a new car every 3 years for the past 20 years. And I've never had an issue with a dealership not accepting a personal check or a debit card, whatever have you. And the fact that they wanted me to go to the bank with like a 20-year-old porter, and I had my daughter with me and my nephew who's a baby with me. I didn't feel like I should trust my safety with someone I didn't know to take me to a bank to withdraw a large, sum of, or, to get a cashier's check. And so I talked to the general manager and just told him, I've never been treated like this. I felt very disrespected, very degraded, and no one should come into a dealership looking to make a purchase. And when you're making a purchase like that, it should be a good moment. And I just walked away just feeling disgusted and disrespected based off of the fact that they did not want to accept my personal check. And after I shared how I felt with the general manager, he did end up accepting the personal check. And he met with Jason, the sales manager. But it just, the whole experience was so negative and disrespectful to me. I would never personally recommend anyone I know to go to that dealership and be treated like that.
What is the reason of this behavior? What do you think?
I'm not sure. Jason, he just came off, just, I mean, he came off very demeaning. And I heard him talking to another customer. Um, and, me personally, I didn't want to make it out to be a racial issue. I don't know if that was the case. Obviously, me being African American, him being Caucasian, I don't know if that was the issue, but I felt like with everything that we have going on in the world right now, that, I may be extra sensitive. We're watching the news, we're all sensitive, right? And so I just felt like, I'm not sure if it's because I'm a female, if it's, because I'm here by myself, if it's because I'm African American. And I would hope that that wouldn't be the case. But the behavior and how he came off to me, I felt like he was, in my opinion, somewhat being racist or just discriminatory towards me, given the fact that I know that you can use a personal check or a debit card to make a purchase. So I don't know why I was being discriminated against when I wanted to use my personal check to finalize my purchase.
I have one more question for you. Tell me, please, can the company do something for you to regain your trust?
Honestly, I think that what's been done has been done, and it's one of those things that it can't be undone. There were people there who I felt they were good to work with, and I appreciate that. But even this Jason Anderson, when he came out to apologize to me while I was getting ready to leave with the new vehicle, his apology was very demeaning and degrading still. And so I just feel like there's nothing that they can do to truly regain my trust, where I would send anybody I know there, anybody I care about there. I just don't think that it would be right. And when I looked online and looked at reviews, he's also received other negative reviews from other people. So I do think that it's a pattern of behavior, and that he's been allowed to treat people this way and talk to people how he wants to talk to them. I just wasn't going to tolerate it. So that's why I wrote my review.
I see. And if we imagine that the supervisor is not working there anymore, will you return to that place?
I could potentially see myself returning there. I do think that the experience with him alone put a very bad taste in my mouth. But if they rectify it to that extent, I do think that my voice was heard, and they also saw that it was a problem. Because there's too many dealerships out here, in the world that we can go to, no matter where we live, right? And I just feel like I could have gone down the street to be respected and felt like, here I am spending my money somewhere where I'm being respected and valued as a customer. So I do feel like, I could potentially return back there. Right now, I don't even want to go to that dealership for an oil change. I will purposefully go to another location, and the oil changes come with my car package. So I don't want to run the risk of crossing paths with a person like him again.
Why did you decide to go public and share this experience?
Because I just feel that, if you don't speak up and stand for something, you'll fall for anything. And I think a lot of people may have experienced this same discrimination um, in the manner, and maybe not willing to speak up. But I think people like that need to know that, we are the customer. And I'm not saying the customer is always right, but we deserve to be respected. And Not once did I disrespect him. Not once did I raise my voice to him. I was just very bothered by the behavior, and I voiced my opinion on it. So I do think that this needs to be talked about, because what if, it is some young girl who's going in and this is her very first experience and she's being treated like this, or some young male going in and he's being treated like that. No one deserves to be treated like this. So I felt it was important, for people to know, especially if you're choosing to go to a dealership and that behavior is being tolerated. Even though I had many great experiences, that one could ruin it for everybody.
Was that the first time you purchased from them?
Yes, that was my first time. They had the particular vehicle and the style that I wanted, and it was just very hard to find that vehicle with the 8 passenger. So, and I searched around looking for that exact one and the right color that I wanted. So, ultimately, I went with what I felt, was the vehicle of my choice, and it just so happened to be at that dealership.